Hey, hey guys, I see the attendees are kind of joining, so welcome. Where is everybody joining from? I'm here in Toronto, enjoying a nice sunny day. It's much needed, especially with the winter that we had. I think you guys should be able to chat under the chat box. Can everybody hear me? There's a chat option right at the bottom of the screen. So if you have any questions as I do the walkthrough, feel free to interject. Um, hey, Andy, Danielle, Joa, Ritika, thank you for joining the call. We'll just wait for a few minutes just to let the other attendees join the webinar as well. Where is everybody joining from? As mentioned, I'm in Toronto, Canada. It's a nice sunny day here. What about you? Do you guys have the chat option? You should see it at the bottom. Up there. Hey, Daniel. Where are you located? Italy. Nice, nice. Yeah, so we got some individuals across the globe. Right, we still have some more attendees joining the call as well. Just to kind of give you a little bit of background about myself, I've been with Reply for over 7 years. I've been in software sales for over a decade. I started out in financial services, parlay that into printer and photocopier sales. I was doing door to door. I worked at an events company where I was making like 100 plus cold calls a day. So I have a pretty kind of experienced kind of sales career in terms of what I've done in the past. And today I want to cover all that in terms of how it's all brought into to Reply. I want to make this very interactive as possible. So I'll be asking questions just to kind of get a feel for how, what kind of brings you to Reply, how you're doing things right now, and kind of make it more interactive. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat anytime, and we can kind of address it as they come. While I do the actual demo, I probably won't be able to see the chat, but we can address the questions towards the end of the webinar. And any further questions, I'll provide my Calendly link, and you can kind of set up a call, and we can discuss kind of your use case and how Reply can help based on certain things that apply to your business specifically. But yeah, it looks like we have a good amount of attendees joining. Um, as mentioned, just out of curiosity, like what brings everybody to this webinar? Like, are you doing things like manually right now? Do you have a system in place? Like, are they like deliverability concerns? So I kind of curate the webinar so it's more tailored towards what you're looking to kind of accomplish. So if you can kind of start sharing it in the chat or the live Q&A, that would be great. Okay, I think that some people are not able to use the chat. So it looks like on your end. Let me see if I can enable the chat. I think you could just mention it in the Q&A section. So any questions you have, just put it in there. For some reason, I don't have the thing to enable the thing. I'm looking into the settings tab, but yeah, if you have any questions, just kind of address it in the Q&A, and we can kind of go through it during the webinar. But yeah, we'll kind of get right into the kind of the walk to Reply. And just to kind of give you some context, typically like the customers that we work with are kind of in a situation where they already have an existing system in place, where like they have like an email automation tool, they have the LinkedIn automation, they have a calling feature and a data source. So it's all siloed and disparate. So we kind of bring that all into one unified platform. And other things that concerning, especially with now, is with the whole Gmail policy change and issues with like deliverability. That's also another big concern that customers are kind of seeing across the board. And of course, you have customers that are still doing it using kind of manual effort, where it's a lot of tedious, heavy lifting from start to finish to kind of do that follow up. So I'll kind of cover all that in today's webinar, to kind of cover all the important things that you'd want to see today, especially to make your lives as easy as possible. And again, towards the end, any kind of questions that come up, feel free to put that into the Q&A, and we can kind of address the questions as they come. So I'm going to share my screen with you and start walking you through the reply platform. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. So to kind of start off with, I'm going to cover the email aspect, where we first set up the email inbox with reply. So let me put this smaller so it doesn't get in the way. So to begin with, to set up your email account, just had to go into the settings tab, click on the email accounts. Here are some of the email inboxes that we have set up here. One of the things that Reply does really well, and we've been around for 9 years, so we've made all the mistakes when it comes to hitting all the landmines, when it comes to spam filters, deliverability. We've learned from our mistakes, and we've adapted our protocols to kind of maximize that. And one of the things that we do is we do a regular health check for your email inboxes in terms of all these domain settings like SPF, DKIM, DMARC, domain age, MX, A record. So it really makes sure that you're on top of things to ensure there's no issues with deliverability. Now, setting up an inbox is really straightforward. Typically with the inbox, we're working with Gmail, Outlook, and Exchange. These are all single click, so it's really easy to set up. If you have any other provider, you can do so as long as you have SMTP and IMAP credentials, so it's pretty easy to get up and running. And once you set up your inbox, we also have full LinkedIn automation as well. So adding a LinkedIn account is also pretty straightforward. So if I wanted to add my LinkedIn account, I click on new account. It's done through the session cookie. Click connect, confirm. Oh, it looks like Gary raised a hand. So yeah, just whatever questions you have, put it in the Q&A, and we can address the questions towards the end, and go through it one by one. But I appreciate the question. Now, once you set up a LinkedIn account, you just have to set up the actual account within the reply sequence, which I'll cover that once we build the sequence. So just in terms of setting up the email inbox and LinkedIn account, it's really straightforward, nothing complicated. Once you have that set up, the next thing is now, how do you actually get the contacts? What are the options available in reply? So we have 2 data sources that you can leverage. One is we have an internal database where you can access over 89 million leads directly within the reply platform. So if I were to click search, you can see here, we got about 89,400,000 leads with direct numbers, emails, all the important things that you would need to be able to do automation for email as well as LinkedIn, and also make calls. The secondary source is we have a Chrome extension, LinkedIn Chrome extension. So if I were to open up my reply Chrome extension and click on find emails, the default setting is for VP of sales. And what it does is it pulls in the first name, last name, and the company domain. And it runs a variation like first dot last name, first name, first initial last name, all those possible variations. And it pings the server with each variation. So that way, you know that once you actually get the email return, it's already pre-verified. So the data quality is really good. I'll go into a sequence that I actually launched where I did cold outreach to CEOs and founders in the software space. So you can see the exact data quality that I was able to get. Right now, I'm on the free version. Ideally, you want to have Sales Navigator to get the most amount of contacts scraped from LinkedIn. But usually the hit rate is around 40 to 50%, but the data quality is really good. Once you have that list, you just click on next page, load in the contacts. Once you have the contacts set up, It's as easy as dropping it into a reply sequence right from the Chrome extension or into a list that you have set up within reply as well. Now that you have the data, the next thing now to do is to set up the sequence. So setting up a sequence, click on the new sequence tab. There's several options. One is from scratch. The other one is magic. So magic essentially is we have AI that we've incorporated into reply to help you curate the messaging. So sometimes some individuals might not be accustomed to setting up email copy, so they want to use AI to be able to generate that. So you can access that within the reply platform. So if I chose from magic and I click on the prompt, let's say, for example, I want to write a 100-word email template to CEOs within the software space based on the pain points they have when it comes to sales outreach, and position Reply.io as the solution and have a soft call to action. So very straightforward uh, prompt just to kind of show you what the capabilities are. Once you actually generate that message, you can kind of say, you know what, I don't like it, and regenerate, and AI will regenerate the message. Once you feel confident with the messaging, you click next, and it actually shapes up the entire sequence for you. And this way, you don't need to think about all the kind of messaging and how to position it. AI will do it for you. If you prefer to do your own messaging, you can do so as well. You can click on the new sequence tab from scratch, and here are all the different options available. There's email, call, SMS, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Zapier, and Task. I have to mention with SMS, we only allow opt-in individuals to be able to access the SMS due to the new A2P 10 DLC compliance that's out now. So as long as you have opt-in, you can access that. You just have to go through an approval process within the reply platform. And for email, it's pretty straightforward. You have custom tags that you can personalize by. What I like about this is you could actually have conditional variables. So for example, not everybody is going to want to be able to have a generic template where it's like just based on first name, title, industry. Sometimes you want to actually adapt the messaging so that each template is almost unique to the individual. So this way you have a better deliverability because each template is unique to the individual that is reaching out. So one of the ways spam filters catch up on the email is that, okay, why is the same email being sent out, 100 times, 200 times? So this way you can actually offset that by dynamically adjusting the template based on the incoming data point of that contact. We have a community of templates available in reply as well. So for example, if I click on value proposition, here's a template that outlines a good value prop. And when it comes to scoring, there's an actual algorithm that tests your template against a successful benchmark. And the way we got the benchmark is we said, okay, why are some of our customers getting an 80+% open rate? Why are they getting a 30+% reply rate, where someone else is getting like a 1% reply rate or a 30% open rate? What's so special about their subject length, word count, question count, reading level, positivity? It even tells you what spam words you have in your template that you may want to change to minimize getting caught in spam traps. This way, you could be proactive as opposed to being reactive with the messaging. And if you are looking to add links that you can track to see who's clicking on the link, you could add images, attachments, Vidyard videos to have like a thumbnail video, because we do have integration with Vidyard. And also, if you use Gmail, you can set up your Gmail calendar directly with Reply, so they can just book the meeting and close the loop. If not, Calendly is perfectly fine as well. If you do want to access HTML and do source code, you can do that, but ideally, plain text is the best way to go. So here's the first step. Now, let's say some of you are like, Nish, but I want to be able to personalize the first step before it's sent out. So there's two options. The first one is we have a manual option. So typically the way that once you set up the automated emails and schedule, import the contacts on launch, it'll send it directly from each one of your inboxes. And the way it's sent is what makes Reply powerful. It doesn't do like a blast of emails. It actually sends it from each one of your inboxes, but it's sent one by one with the randomized delay to almost mimic and replicate human-like sending. So it bypasses spam filters at a higher frequency and lands in the inbox of your prospects. When your prospects see it on their end, it's plain text personalized to them. When they reply to it, automation stops, the reply lands in your inbox, and then you go ahead and pick it up from there. And if they don't, the next step goes out. Now, if you chose manual, instead of it going out automatically, a task is generated with this template already pre-populated for that contact in the task, and it gives you a chance to personalize it before sending. And the second option I'll show you in the preview tab as well. But yeah, so here's the first step. If you want to be able to A/B test, all you need to do is add a second variant. So here, I'll just add another value prop email just to kind of put in the placeholder. You can do 2, 3, 4, 5 different variants, and it's actually good to have different variants. Again, the idea is to minimize the kind of the same template being sent out over and over again. So the more dynamically different the templates are, the better it is going to be for overall deliverability. But A/B testing, I'll go into a live sequence where you can actually see the results from an A/B test and how you can kind of double down on that template. Now that the first step is set up, let's say the next step is a follow-up email, and you want the email to be threaded so that they can reference that initial email and say, you know what, I'm glad they're persistent. Let me get back to them now. So if I were to delete the subject line, that's exactly what reply will do. When your prospects get the second email, it will have the same subject line as the first step email. When they click into it, both the follow-up and the first step will be in the same email thread. So now you can thread as many emails in the same chain as needed, or you can just set a subject line and it goes out as an individual email. Now, in terms of steps, normally we recommend anywhere from 7 to 11 touch points, which includes email, LinkedIn, calling. The idea is to kind of maximize the chance of connecting with the individual on different channels. And you could build out exact cadence that you prefer to do within the page here. Now, if you were to say 2 emails, they haven't responded yet, maybe we should do a connect request on LinkedIn. So if you click on the LinkedIn option, here are all the different options, like in terms of message, connect, in-mail, view profile, like recent posts, endorse skills, follow profile. And these are completely automated. So all you need to do is once you set up your LinkedIn account, set it up in the sequence and have the LinkedIn URL, which our data as well as the Chrome extension has. It'll be able to do the connect request, message, in-mail, view profile, like recent posts, endorse skills, follow profile, completely automated. And you could even customize it similar to the way that you customize the emails using the custom tags. So let's connect, niche, save, and then after that, maybe do a message, and we'll just put like a generic template here as well. And maybe to finish it off with a like recent post, just to kind of stay top of mind. And you could build out whatever it is that you want to do. If you also want to incorporate calling into the sequence, you can do so. We do have a cloud call feature where you can actually rent numbers to appear as a local number, and it's recorded for training purposes as well. So you can set up a call task, which mimics, so you can kind of almost use it almost as a reminder where you have the exact questions you want to make sure you ask, notes based on the segment you're reaching out to. So if the persona is CEO, you know exactly what keeps the CEO up at night. So you can discuss that 15-second pitch in a way where it really hits home to that persona and not have to kind of, guess. You just have it ready to go in the task. So here's the call task. As mentioned, you could build as many steps as needed. There's no limit for reply, but typically we recommend anywhere from 7 to 12 touch points as just a best practice. And we do have SMS. As mentioned, you can do it as long as it's opt-in due to A2P 10 DLC. There's WhatsApp, Zapier, as well as tasks. So you can kind of set a delay, which you can do here as well. So for example, if the first email, what you needed to go today or maybe 30 days from now, let's say one of the prospects you reach out to is like, you know what, this could be of interest. I'm glad you called, but follow up with me in 30 days. So you can actually delay that. You can add the contact into a sequence and push it out to 30 days. So this way you add the contact into reply, and it will automatically wait 30 days before sending out that initial email. So now 30 days afterwards, they get an automated email from your inbox. Great, you followed up as promised. Let's discuss booking a meeting. Now here's the steps. The next step is the AI part. So we have AI personalized email. It's in beta stages. So right now, in terms of opener, this is what's possible. Essentially, what it'll do is it'll visit the contact's LinkedIn profile and look at, okay, did they recently change a job? Have they been promoted? What's their LinkedIn summary saying? And kind of tie that into the messaging to make it a little bit more personalized. And if you also want to be able to use AI to handle replies on your behalf, but you don't trust it yet, what you can do is you train it saying, this is the product service details, pricing, description, key features, competitor intel. And once it learns about what you do, you can set it so that it creates a draft for you. So if someone responds back saying, you know what, I'm not really looking to do this, maybe follow up, it doesn't seem that interesting. And then AI will read what's coming in. And first of all, it'll categorize it as either interested, not interested, do not contact, not now, or forward it. Whatever the reply is, it will understand what's being asked or said. And based on the training you provide in this context box, it will reply and create a draft for you within the consolidated inbox, which I'll touch upon shortly as well. And then once you gain some confidence around reply drafts, you can actually set it automatically where it just goes back and forth until the individual says, yeah, sure, let's book a meeting. And then you jump in there, share your Calendly, or if you have your Gmail calendar, it automatically books it using AI. The next step is importing contacts. There's several ways in which you can do it. The easiest way is through a .csv file. So you export whatever platform you're using right now with the data via .csv file. Make sure you have all your first name, title, industry, location, whatever custom tags you want to have. Make sure those column headers exist within the CSV, and then map it onto reply. So that way you can use it to customize accordingly. If you have a CRM like Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, Copper, and we have an extensive list of Zaps, you can connect your CRMs or applicant tracking system within reply. And the main ones like HubSpot, Salesforce have really solid 360 integration with reply. So you can move prospects from Salesforce, HubSpot directly into reply sequences based on their personas, and also update data points based on engagement back into the CRM, as well as log activities that happened within the reply sequences. So here I'll just add contacts from my existing database. So here I'll go for job title, CEO, add a few of the different variations, and then add some of the contacts here. So we'll add 3 just to make it simple, add. And the next page is the preview tab. So here is where you actually go to look at the format of the email before it's sent out. Because the last thing you want is, to have some kind of error that you made or mistake that you want to make sure you catch before the email is sent out. So here is what the email will look like. And then you're like, you know what? I remember speaking to Joseph last month at a conference I visited, or I spoke to Joseph about a few months ago regarding the platform. So maybe mention that in the email. So what you can do is you can actually personalize it beyond the template available inside of the preview tab. And when you click save, this individual will get the actual edited version as opposed to the templated version. Now, if you were to click on, so here's all the different other steps. So if you click on next, here's the final steps in terms of settings. Here's where you set up your LinkedIn account, which is already set up. General settings, how many emails do you want to send out per day? How much of a throttle do you want between each email being sent, because you want to replicate human-like sending. And one of the things that we offer is matching email providers. So what that means for you is if you have both Outlook and Gmail inboxes, you can set up both within reply. And the beauty is when you set up the inboxes with other providers, typically it's one sequence to one email. With reply, you could have one sequence with multiple sending mailboxes, which include Gmail, Outlook. So what reply will do is it will figure out the recipient's receiving email client. So if it's Gmail, it'll send from your Gmail inbox. If it's Outlook, it'll send from your Outlook inbox. That way, again, another thing the reply does to maximize deliverability into the inbox. And that's kind of the name of the game. You can enable links tracking. You could also say, you know what, I reach out to enterprise accounts. I don't want to send 100 emails to Microsoft and get flagged as a spammer and get shut down. So what you can do is you say reply. If it's an organization like Microsoft, I only want to send maybe 3 or 4 emails, max emails to that organization on any given day. So there's things that we've set up to ensure you get the optimal kind of domain reputation and deliverability. We'll touch upon the mail toaster as well, which is our email warm-up tool, which is really powerful in terms of its features as well. So the final step is you look at the steps, schedule, everything looks good, save and launch. Once you actually launch, you can go into a live sequence and see what the results are. So I'll give you an example. So here's a sequence that I launched literally this week. Again, to like CEOs and founders. So here's a live sequence. And it's all cold. Nobody that's kind of expressed interest in reply. It's completely cold. So I had about a 47% open rate. I had 1 reply so far. And you can see all the different kind of categories here. If I scroll down, you can see that I A/B tested the first step. If I click on the right, both templates drop down, and you could see which one had the better open rate, reply rate, as well as interested reply rate as well. Now, to show you the actual interested reply rate, I want to go into another sequence that we have here. That'll give you a really good idea of the reporting. So here's the sequence. If I say last year, oh, the same one. Okay, there you go. So yeah, you can see here you have all the delivery rate, open rate, reply rate, and even it shows you the interested reply rate as well, which is really powerful because every sequence you launch has a smart inbox that categorizes the incoming replies based on what you see here: interested, not interested, unsorted, do not contact, not now. And the way it does it is the smart inbox reads the incoming replies from all the contacts and categorizes based on level of interest directly within the platform. And if you scroll down, you can see here we have different A/B tests for each steps. So you can see which one had the better open rate, reply rate, and double down on that template. Now, if you, for example, if I want to go back to my cold outreach to founders, I click on here. Oh, there it is. So if I go here and I click on the cold outreach, if I click on the people tab and scroll to the right, you can see all the contacts that have opened the email at least once, which is nice. But you want to see the ones that not only open it, but reopen and view that email multiple times. So for example, here, this individual got one of my emails, opened it at least once, and then opened it a second time, which shows the view count as 2. So now that you know that there's a way to actually determine engagement, what you can do is you can say, you know what, reply, show me all the contacts that viewed the email more than, let's say, 1 time and has not responded yet. So replied exactly 0 times. So apply. And now you have a list of highly engaged prospects. So the contacts that are, opening and viewing it multiple times. So when I do call, you can see the ones that I've made a call to already are the ones that are highly engaged. So now it gives you a way to really focus in on who to call and when to call based on the email engagement. So that way, if you have 100 emails, you don't want to spend time doing 100 calls. You'd rather just focus on that 20 or 30 highly engaged contacts and double down on them and get those converted to a call, which has a higher chance of receiving your call and then converting to a meeting. Now, if you were to like say, you know what, why don't we just create a sequence running in parallel with just a call step, or a sequence running in parallel with like a LinkedIn step. So this way you can kind of stay clear of LinkedIn's radar as well in terms of how many connect requests can happen per week. So what you can do is there's two options. One is you say select all and move them to a sequence. We'll call that sequence 4+ views call urgently, and put step one. So now all you need to do is come in for the day, open up the reply Chrome extension, filter, go to tasks. And by the way, the Chrome extension is a really good tool as well. That way, if you don't want to kind of constantly kind of log into reply, you can come in here, search for the contacts that you have within the reply instance right from the Chrome extension. It has all the people repository accessible here. You can click on the contact and see all the activity history, notes, everything. Now, if you click on task, now you could say, okay, let's go after the low-hanging fruit first. You could do today and forward, overdue tasks, tap call, manual email, as I mentioned before, and target a specific sequence, call 4+ views, call urgently, and apply. And now all the contacts that are returned are highly engaged prospects. So these are the contacts that you want to get in front of sooner than later. So you can kind of get that meeting booked and run the sales process, which is what you do best in terms of being customer facing, as opposed to kind of spending a lot of time doing tedious manual tasks, if that's your situation. Now, if you want to do it manually, that is an option. If you prefer to do it completely automated, what you can do is you can set up a trigger that does this for you automatically. So this way you don't need to think about anything. All you have to do is set the trigger option to say when these situations occur. So if someone were to reply to a sequence email, open a sequence email, clicked on a link, contact finish sequence, inbox is set to interested, call was logged, they connected on LinkedIn message reply received. So there's a lot of when situations that you can choose from. So typically opened, and now the property type number of views more than, let's say, 6 times, then move to sequence. And you call it, again, 4+ views, step 1, and save. So now, once the emails are sent out, when they hit that threshold of like 6+ views, reply will be like, okay, they're ready to be moved to the call only sequence. Now they get moved to that call only sequence. And now you get on the phone, make that dial. They're like, you know what, I'm glad you called. I actually shared this with my colleague. You have really good timing. Yeah, sure, we can discuss a meeting, because there's some overlap in terms of what you do and what we're looking to do here at XYZ company. So the fun thing I'm going to show you is the consolidated inbox. So here's where all your replies, whether it's through email or LinkedIn, reside. So here's where you get all the interested, not interested, do not contact, forwarded, etc., all collecting inside of the consolidated inbox. So you can see here, reply actually reads the intent of the email syntax, and based on that, categorize it according to these categories. Now, if you chose an AI draft to say, you know what, I want AI to handle the objections, the ones that are like not interested, not now. So AI draft will read the syntax, and based on what's being said, categorize it accordingly. So if someone says, like for example, not interested, the AI will kind of draft something in ready for you. So you just look at it, be like, yep, this is what I said, send, and move on with your day. And as mentioned, you have both email, LinkedIn messages consolidated into this inbox. So it makes it really easy to reply on behalf directly in reply if you want to, or if you're the master account owner, be able to reply on behalf of one of your reps that is missing in the office, maybe out of the office sick, and you don't want the replies to go unanswered. Now, from a reporting standpoint, let's say you want to kind of see how well you're doing across all the different channels in reply. So here, if I delete the one owner and say I want to see across all owners, you could see here which one's getting the better conversion rate in terms of email, call, LinkedIn, channel efficiency, all broken down directly in the main reporting page. And that applies for email as well. You can see here how well you did across the entire team based on last week, month, custom quarter. And the good thing is, if you're still figuring out your ICP, where you're like, you know what, I don't know if we really have an idea of our ICP, let's just set a big net. And then based on the ones that are engaged the most, you can now say, okay, now that we have raw data, which title, like, is it, should we offer this to the Office of Finance or the operations team, or is it marketing, or should we just go direct to the CEO? Who's the one that's biting the most and engaging the most with the messaging? And that applies, you can apply that towards industry, location, employee size, so you can get a feel for what's working, what isn't, and really double down on that. Scrolling down, you see that every single one of your reps have a very detailed overview of their reporting metrics across their sequences. And the same thing applies with LinkedIn as well. You have a detailed view of all your LinkedIn actions directly inside of Reply. So you can see how many connects were sent, how many accepted in the last week, last month. And you can kind of see all the important metrics when it comes to replied rate and across the entire team as well. And the final thing is calls task. Call reporting is available. So if you make calls out of Reply, you can rent a number that's local to the individual that you're calling to, and you pay a per minute cost, but the cloud call license is included with the pro plan. Here's the breakdown of what you see from a call reporting standpoint. It tells you also when is the best time to make the calls based on calls being answered. So there's additional intelligence kind of to let you know when is the best time to make the calls. And the final thing, I think that pretty much it in terms of Reply. I think we covered most of the stuff that I wanted to cover to kind of show you what you can do, the capabilities are with Reply as well. But yeah, I think we can kind of stop there and start asking some of the questions. Okay, so it looks like. And here's my my Calendly link. So if you want to join, if you want to set up a call where you can kind of go through certain questions you have, here's my Calendly link, and you can kind of book a call and do more of a one-on-one discussion and kind of go through certain use cases and see how Reply is going to be able to help with that. But yeah, let me look at the Q&A. Yes, I know I don't need that. Use one plus email, LinkedIn task doesn't go on time. Yeah, so we Ritika, we did run into some issues with LinkedIn in the past, but the team has kind of worked on that to kind of optimize the sending with LinkedIn. So it should be fine. If not, just let support know. They should be able to resolve it. Yeah. Hey Daniel, looks like you've been in sales for 21 years. Totally manual. You try to automate the process. Nice. Glad to see that you're using Reply. Roll call mail for book the meeting. What do you use the LinkedIn integration for? So Gary, I saw your question regarding LinkedIn integration. So essentially LinkedIn integration is, as I mentioned, you can kind of set up your LinkedIn account with Reply to be able to completely automate your LinkedIn outreach. So you can kind of tie in email, LinkedIn together to really efficiently reach out to only the highly engaged contacts via LinkedIn to kind of stay clear of that LinkedIn radar. Because I'm not sure if you're familiar with LinkedIn limitations, but they only allow like 100 connect requests. I've been told 200 per week. So you don't want to just send everybody you send an email to a LinkedIn Connect request. And Ritika, you asked, can you send emails and LinkedIn requests at once instead of it going in a range? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But if you want to be able to send an email and a LinkedIn on the same day, it is possible. You just need to set the settings accordingly. Support will be able to assist with that as well. Does LinkedIn have limitations, regulations for info scraping? Yeah, technically, like they kind of say they don't want people scraping emails. They try to prevent that. But with that said, there's a lot of tools out there where you can kind of scrape emails from LinkedIn, and a lot of individuals are using LinkedIn Sales Navigator with the scraping tools to kind of find business work emails. So it's being done, whether regardless of the limitation. But that's something that you would need to kind of discuss internally to see if it makes sense for you or not. And yeah, the recording is it is being recorded, so you can definitely share the link after the call as well. If you guys registered, you should receive the recording link in the email. Yeah, Matt, you asked, is it possible to schedule manual emails? If you're referring to what I mentioned in the demo in terms of setting up a manual option instead of an automated one, where it instead of it sending it automatically, it will create a task for you where it'll have the contacts email already personalized, ready to go, and then you go into the task and personalize it, add that 1 or 2 snippets, and then send. So if that's what you mean, the answer is yes. If you have any specific questions around that and you want to do like a one-on-one, we can kind of definitely set it up. Gary, I just shared the calendar link on the chat. And again, my email is Nish, so N for Nancy, I for Indigo, S for Sam, H for House, at reply.io. Send me an email if you have any chat kind of issues, and we can kind of I'll share my calendar link. But let me see if I can drop it here. Group of Google contacts. So is it, Daniel, you asked, is it difficult to import contacts from Google of Google Contacts? So if you have it in a Google Doc, like an Excel spreadsheet, shouldn't be a problem. You could either download it as a .csv file, or if you prefer to kind of keep it as like almost like a CRM where you have the contacts under that Google record, Google Doc, CSV, Excel record. What you can do is you can set up a zap to automatically zap the contacts from that Google Doc into a reply sequence, because we do have an extensive list of Zapier options available. But yeah, I think that's seems like, oh, can you please, yeah, calendar link. Okay, sure. Ritika, did you see the calendar link that I put on the chat? You should be able to see it. I shared it on the chat. If you click on the lower bottom, there's a chat option there, an icon. If you click into it, you should see the calendar link into the thing. But I'll share that with you as well. Send. Okay, so I just shared it with you. Oh, chat is still not working. Okay. I don't know why chat is not working. Just a second. Let me see if I can chat everyone. Okay, hold on. I think I got it. Okay, so you should see it now. Can everybody see my calendar link? I think I just I figured out how to enable the chats for everybody. So you should see my calendar link. Perfect. I see the chats coming in now. But any other questions? Do you guys have any other questions regarding kind of reply? Just any basic sales related questions? I'll be happy to kind of field them if you have anything in particular you want to talk about. So I'll just wait like another few more minutes to see if anybody else has any questions. And if not, we can wrap it up. And again, feel free to set up a call with me directly if you do have any particular questions and you're looking to kind of start using Reply as like a new customer. I'll be happy to kind of field any questions you have, do a walkthrough with you and the team, and discuss how Reply can help you based on what you saw today. But yeah, it looks like there's no further questions. It looks like we answered most of the questions already. It was good kind of chatting with everybody here. Thank you again for joining me today and kind of expressing interest in Reply. I appreciate it. Enjoy the week. Have a good weekend, and yeah, stay in touch. My LinkedIn account, you can kind of connect me on LinkedIn as well, and we can kind of discuss there as well. Oh, looks like we have one question. Is spam check option available for only AI copies? There's no real thing only targeting kind of AI. It's more based on the actual email copy itself. Like if you notice in the AI algorithm that I had in the message, it actually tells you what spam words you have in your template. So whether AI wrote it or human wrote it, if there's spam words in it, it kind of increases the chance of getting caught in spam traps. But there's no like spam check for reply that says this was created by an AI kind of feature. We don't have that. But yeah, it's a good question. Matt's asking, does the task execution tab have a filter to only have the tasks of a specific sequence displayed. Yeah. So the answer is yes. So let me share my screen with you and kind of walk you through that, Matt. So if I click on the task tab, now if I click on tasks, I can get all the tasks that are due for that day. So as Matt asked, if you want to filter it based on a particular sequence, you can say here, these are all the sequences that I have, but I only want to have 4+ views call urgently, apply, and now only the contacts that exist within that call only sequence appears in this list here. So you know that when you're calling into that particular sequence, you know the persona, the reason why you're calling, so there's no confusion. Does that answer your question, Matt? Awesome. Yeah, pleasure, Matt. How to go to spam check. Oh, I forgot. Mail toaster. Yeah, good. Thanks for reminding me, Ritika. So one thing that I wanted to mention is we have mail toaster. Essentially what it is, it's a peer-to-peer network of real inboxes that reply controls. So these are other like business work emails like Outlook, Gmail that reply controls. So it's a real kind of peer-to-peer network. Once you set up your mailbox with Mail Toaster, it automatically sends emails to those inboxes, which then open and reply to your email. So by doing this, you start building up a solid domain reputation over a span of usually a week and a half, 2 weeks, if it's a brand new email account. If it's something that already has a good amount of volume, you may not need to do it for that long, but it's still recommended to put it into the mail toaster to kind of optimize and boost the reputation. And the beauty is when you actually launch the mail toaster, there's two different settings for it. One profile, as I mentioned, is new email account. The other one is reputation protect. Because when you do cold outreach, not everybody is going to be like, yeah, tell me more about what you do. So you might get like a 3 to 5% reply rate, maybe more, maybe less. This ensures you're still getting a good number of replies coming into your inbox so that it'll maintain that sender score that MailToaster has boosted your email to. And you can kind of set up the daily goal. You can ramp it up so it does it in a throttle manner where it kind of, again, stays clear of any kind of issues that Gmail or Outlook might catch, and gradually do it in a very organic way to kind of optimize deliverability. And then with Reply, once you actually become a customer, you can access our deliverability team where their experience when it comes to important settings like DKIM, SPF record, DMARC, and they'll run diagnostics on your domain, and based on their findings, they'll recommend important settings like what I mentioned to optimize the sender score so that you don't have issues where you're getting spam listed and then your deliverability rates are going down. So we have a lot of things that we offer at Reply when it comes to optimizing your sending. And if you have any further questions regarding that, feel free to book a time with me and we can kind of address it as they come. Let me stop sharing and kind of look at looks like there's some more questions. Check how likely to receive response that you showed. How can we connect with them? What email copy content check? So yeah, Ritika, as mentioned, when you set up the messaging on the sequence builder, if you notice there's an algorithm that actually comes on the right, like a scoring algorithm that tests your email copy based on a benchmark that we found that our customers that are getting good conversion to have, and it compares your question count, word count, reading level, positivity. It even tells you spam words, so that way you can kind of configure your template to have a higher chance of getting a response. How can we connect with them? Can you navigate? Sure. So coming back to reply, so here's the sequence tab where you can kind of see the message. So from scratch. So if I click on value proposition, you can see here the sidebar will tell you how well your template compares to that benchmark. So this is where the subject length, word count, question count, reading level, positivity. It even tells you the spam words that you may want to remove from your template to kind of minimize getting caught in spam traps. So that's the way that you kind of take proactive measures to make sure you get the best possible chance of getting a response. Does that answer your question, Ritika? Perfect. Uh, okay, perfect. Awesome. So yeah, that kind of wraps up the webinar. If you do have any other questions in regards to, yeah, so contact support. If you are an existing customer, just contact support, let them know you have some deliverability concerns, and they'll kind of loop in the delivery team accordingly. But yeah, it was good chatting with everybody. We're almost up to the hour. And yeah, appreciate it, Joao, for joining, and you're most welcome. But yeah, any other questions, just feel free to book a call with me and we can address it as they come. It was good to have you all join. Enjoy your week and have a good weekend. Stay in touch.